All right, so do you want to go to the outhouse first, or the Starlink, or the smoke sauna? And this is something that my family's really proud of. Very important in Finnish culture. It's a smoke sauna. It's called Vesijärvi, which means water lake. And that is actually extremely beneficial. You can make a salve out of it, which is what I've done. Well, heat is a relative word here, right? I think, you know what? I'm going to have a drink.
Welcome back to the Outdoor Journal podcast, Whiskey Hour, with our founder and CEO, AP, where we bring you up to speed on the behind-the-scenes action in adventure travel. Today, AP will give us a tour of his summer cabin in Kangasala, Finland, which is about 2 hours from his home in Helsinki. So if you're listening, you might want to switch over to Spotify or YouTube so you can see the family cabin on the lake with its traditional Finnish saunas and even AP's DIY Starlink setup. And please take a second to subscribe so you don't miss any of our weekly content. It's 0 degrees and snowing. Let's go.
So it's not whiskey hour, it's wine hour. The point and the reason why Finland is happy, right? Why Finland is regularly like the number one happy country, and it's a source of great like fun for everyone. Is like laughing about it, right? All the Finns are like, if we are happy, like I don't know what the hell's going on with the rest of the world, right? That's kind of like the national joke here about this whole happiness index thing, but. I do think that something that's important in Finland is, and it's a national cultural thing, is to go to the cottage in the summer for sure, right? So people spend a significant part of the summer not in their main home, but in their cottage, which is, typically close to the lake, typically no running water and an outhouse. So it's not easy living. It's important to do this. It's important to have that necessary friction in life because it teaches you how hard it is to live. And the more you make life too easy, you kind of lose touch with the things that make you feel alive, right? Just like chopping wood and having to walk to go to the outhouse or to go for a swim in the water, and the temperature is what it is. It's all of that is part of living. And it's how people used to live for thousands of years. And all of a sudden we made it super easy, and you have like heating and hot water and running water and electricity and everything else. That's when you lose that touch of reality that you need to be happy. And sort of, you want to call it happiness or satisfaction or whatever. But I think it's important. That's what makes people satisfied, is just the fact that you regularly are in contact with the necessary friction of life. And of living, which is important. And then, of course, going to the forest and picking berries and being somewhat self-sustaining is also part of it.
Yeah, you need to take the 20 minutes to get your water and forage for food and get firewood in order to cook, and not just order Uber Eats and have it simple and easy.
Yeah, I mean, and you could just drive to the nearest whatever, right, and get some food, and sometimes we do that. That's fine, but just having every day that rhythm where you have to work, and it's the same thing with being outdoors, right, and going on an expedition or going climbing or whatever. It's this rhythm of life that you kind of get into, which is it's harder, right? It's focused. You're away from a lot of the distractions of like urban living and the easiness of urban living, and that's what makes you feel more satisfied, because you're just actually doing the things that make you alive or keep you alive.
Yeah, I think it seems like it's more in touch with how humans are meant to live.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why, the Outdoor Journal, and that's why everything outdoors and outside and as much as you can do off it is it's better for you, it's better for the planet, it's better for your brain, it's better for everything. Yeah, this is like the main little cottage, and we've got the old and new wings right behind me. This nice big old pine tree that I climbed last summer or the previous summer that got off a branch that fell off. It was a bunch of branches that I need to do, like tree pruning. So I've been climbing trees using all my climbing gear now because there's not much else to climb in Finland.
Were you using some special crampons?
No. So the way it works is you kind of get a rope. On the end of your rope, you tie like a thinner throw cord.
a tag line with a little weight, and you get it over a branch. Then you pull the rope up until you get to like the climbing rope or the static line or whatever you're going to jug up, and then you anchor the other end to maybe the same tree or another tree, and then you jumar up the rope so you don't touch the tree because you don't want to damage the tree. I mean, obviously, if you use a crampon, I mean, some people do, but you're harming the tree when you do that. Right?
Do any of them give out sap?
And that is actually extremely beneficial. You can make a salve out of it, which is what I've done. You mix that with beeswax and olive oil or some oil, antiseptic salve that you can use for when you're in the wilderness or anytime. I mean, it's a natural salve. So I make that.
Do you make it for like one use at a time, or do you make it and collect it into a jar so you have it?
I gave all the kids a small jar each with their names on it. They're super happy. They always use them. They got little cuts and bruises and scrapes. They always put. I tell them, go put some pica salva. And oh, it's snowing. Oh, what do you know? I don't know if you can see, but it's snowing now. Yeah, here's our little dock. This is where we're swimming on the lake.
Wow.
Right. Yeah, it's really beautiful out here.
Yeah, what's the name of the lake? It's really vast.
Honestly, this is not a big lake. This is a small lake. It's called Vesijärvi, which means water lake. Finland has a lot of lakes, and they have some funny names. No, it's beautiful out, and there's a breeding pair of swans on the lake every year, and the swan is the whooping swan is the national bird of Finland. So yeah, there's always like a breeding pair with their kids every summer, and then by this time of the year they fly off.
Do you have any kayaks or SUP or anything?
Yeah, we have two boats. We have two boats, right? So that one's like our little rowboat. Then we have a little small motorboat on the other side. I'm just going to walk past it. And one inflatable kayak. Yeah, this is the motorboat over here. I don't know if you can see it. But the motor's in the storehouse. And it's snowing out. Now, this is a water pump, so there's no running water. So we have a little pipe that goes into the lake.
Oh, wow.
And just pump some water. Yeah.
What about water to drink?
So drinking water is something that we bring in from the nearby town. We get these big jugs and then we fill it at the bar station. And that's the water we drink with and cook with. Yeah.
What's the outhouse situation?
Well, I can show you the outhouse if you want. All right. So do you want to go to the outhouse first or the Starlink or the smoke sauna?
You pick.
I'm right next to the smoke sauna and the Starlink. So let me show you those two, and then we'll walk past the outhouse, and then we go back indoors. Well, first, let's go to the Starlink because I'm right next to it now. So yeah, I built a little dock for it because we're surrounded by like really big trees, and I was not getting a signal at all. Like it was really hard to get a signal, right? And they want like a clear view of the sky. So I ended up building this little dock with my father-in-law right here. So that's it at the end of that. So we got two floats and we made a little dock for it. Let me see if I can. I'm going to have to do this.
It's out on the water?
Yeah, it's on the water. All right. It's going to be a bit slippery. There. Okay, there you go.
Isn't it like technical gear that you wouldn't want to get wet?
So technically it is like weatherproof, right? Right here now. You see it?
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I've got it anchored with two lines, and then got a cable. I got the longer one. Last year I had a shower cable. That was a pain in the ass. I've got a longer cable here. So yeah, it's and then that goes all the way into like the Wi-Fi and the router and the power supply. It is weatherproof. It's meant to be weatherproof. It's meant to be outdoors, right? So it's like, I don't know, IPF 84 rated or something. I don't remember the exact specs. But yeah, we do take it down for the winter. So tomorrow I'm going to take all of this stuff off, pull the dock back up because we can't leave it out in the winter. It's just the water, obviously the lake freezes over, right? And when it's all ice, it's just it's gonna crush everything. So yeah, I'm gonna.
And how far outside Helsinki are you?
So we are not far from the town of Tampere. So we're not near Helsinki anymore. This cabin is near Tampere, town called Kangasala, and it is really starting to snow out. If you can, yeah. What is it? About 200 kilometers from Helsinki, something like that. And Tampere is not too far from here.
So it takes you like 3 hours or so?
About two from
Oh.
where we are. Yeah. All right, and this is something that my family is really proud of. Very important in Finnish culture. It's a smoke sauna, right? So a smoke sauna it doesn't have a chimney, all right? So the way it works is it's the traditional Finnish sauna, all right? And what happens here is that you start a fire inside the sauna and let it all heat up, right? The smoke just comes up and out. I don't know if you can see up there, there's a gap between the roof and the walls. And the smoke just sort of comes out. And you let it heat up. And then you stop the fire, let the air sort of clear up a bit. You put some water in actually to settle it down. And then you have this really nice sauna that's just warm. It has this gentle heat and stays warm for a long time. So let me try to show you inside if I can. There's not a lot of lights.
So you just take turns going from there to the dips into the water. Is that the idea?
Yeah, that's the idea. Yeah, you sit in there and when you go for a swim, and of course when the weather is nice, it's beautiful, and you just get out to the lake. I don't know if you're going to do a dip. Nobody wears any clothes in the sauna. It's not acceptable culturally. You're naked in the sauna, and then you're naked when you swim. So yeah. All right.
So you do that the hot sauna, even in the heat of summertime?
Well, heat is a relative word here, right? I think like a heat wave in Finland is like 24, 25 degrees Celsius.
I noticed you're wearing the Pelican S130 by Columbia there. I think I reviewed that
Is this the one? Yeah,
ages ago.
This is the one you reviewed. You know what? This is a phenomenal jacket. And this is the thing I don't like about reviews is that you don't have a chance to actually use a piece of gear for a long enough period of time to figure out whether it is useful or valuable or not, right? You're supposed to do these reviews in like a short period of time. And to be honest, that doesn't work for me, right? I like to use something and really use it and see how much time it takes to break down, for example, right? A lot of my shit breaks down because I use it, right? And this jacket, honestly, this is great for these conditions and the kind of work that I've been doing, right? I was up on the roof, like cleaning out the rain gutters and just getting all that crap off before, right, the real weather hits. And like, this is the kind of jacket you want. You don't want to use your nice alpine climbing Gore-Tex jacket. Like, obviously not. You don't want to destroy that gear. But this is great for like Finnish winters, right? I use this a lot here because it's just rough and it takes the work the abuse you throw at it when you're like just working in the cabin. Yeah, we were up on the roof just trying to clean it up, and there's going to be more work. You wanted to see the outhouse? We'll just do the outhouse. We go mushroom picking, berry picking. It's pretty cool. You kind of live off the land.
Are there any berries or mushrooms that you have to look out for and avoid, or is everything pretty much safe?
I mean, there are poisonous mushrooms and berries, and yeah, you do not want to eat those.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's the poisonous berries tend to be like bitter. So usually it's only kids who sometimes get, and then it just kind of makes them sick. It doesn't it's not toxic, but mushrooms can kill you. So if you do not know what a mushroom is, do not eat it. Like it's very clear. You only eat the mushrooms that are very, right? So there's the outhouse. I mean, I could give you a tour of how the outhouse functions at some point in time if you like. You go in, you do your business. I'll do a small explanation if you like, right? So that's the back of it. Essentially, it takes you separate the liquid and the solids, and then you kind of store the liquids and solids for a period of time, and then it becomes separately in a compost, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it becomes like fertilizer, right? So that's it. You just spread it, and that's how you, yeah. It's really like sustainable in some ways, right? That's the lifestyle. It's all about being self-sufficient and sustainable. And right, we're walking to the other sauna, the regular sauna.
Do the different types of sauna give you different benefits?
Like for me, it's just cultural, right, and enjoyable. I mean, there are benefits, but honestly, when you live in Finland and you have Finnish family, you don't even think about some of that stuff. It's like, yeah, of course, it's the saying in Finland is. If you're sick, essentially it's like sauna. wine or vodka, and tar. Right, these are the things that cure you. So if you're sick, just do one or all of these three, and you'd be fine. Right. That's the traditional way. Yeah. So do the other sauna. Let's do another. Again, we're losing the light here, so let's just do a quick check, and then I'm going to start the sauna. All right. I don't know if you can see it. This is a more typical sauna nowadays. It is a wood-fired sauna. For the sauna, we use pine wood. We burn that. And then for cooking, you use birch. You don't want to use a coniferous type of wood for cooking because you get the pine sap into your food. You don't want that, right? That's why you use birch when you cook, or aspen or adler or something like that. So yeah, no. Last night, we got in, and everything's off. All the heating, the fire, everything. It gets humid when it's cold, and then so I get in, I switch on the electricity from the mains, and then I switch on the electric heaters, and then I switch on and then I light a fire. And it was 2 or 3 degrees inside the hut, inside the cottage.
What year was all this built?
That my wife's family, on her dad's side, is descended from someone famous in Finland called Minna Kant, who was a writer, and she worked for women's emancipation and women's rights. And so there's a Minna Kant Day and all that. It's a pretty famous person. And her granddaughter is the one who bought this piece of land and built the sauna, and just all of it, right? So it's been in the family for a while. So it's important to the family to have it maintained and taken care of for generations. Right. All right, so we've got the sauna started. Yeah, the little place to cut wood. This year we didn't chop as much wood as we would have wanted to. Yeah, this is the branch, one of the branches that fell. I was just processing that. Need to put in some more work. It's a lot of work, huh?
What other gear do you have up there? Do you have a chainsaw?
We have 3 chainsaws. My father-in-law worked for a well-known company, Husqvarna, that produced a lot of this gear. So yeah, he has a lot. He has a lot of that stuff.
Seems like a really good place to write a book.
I have been working on it. Yeah, no, it is a great place to write. I think, and it's a great place to work. Honestly, I'm very happy when when I can be here and do stuff. Even working, I can work from here, and I feel really happy. And setting up that Starlink was honestly a lifesaver because it was impossible to work before that. It's really hard. Mm-hmm. And it took me a little while to set that up. As much as I don't necessarily like Elon's politics, unfortunately, he's made something that's very useful for people like us.
Now, do you guys have creepy crawlers to deal with, or any other animals that you have to deal with? Wolves?
We don't. No wolves here have been sighted, but I think it was a wolf not far away. Definitely bears, not far away, not here, but pretty close by. We had a snake that was living this little thing. Is the only poisonous snake or venomous snake. Sorry, that's the right word. The only venomous snake in Finland is only one. It's a viper. It's very shy. Don't bother it. Doesn't bother you. Geese, one. Spiders. What do you want? What kind of animals are you looking for? Yeah. What does Finland have? I forget the exact number. 100,000 lakes.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, it's crazy, and it's one of the jokes about Finland as well. And some of these lakes have really funny names as well, like the lake where this little girl peed or something. And it's hilarious. It's usually this is actually I would have been drinking a beer or a whiskey or something. You know what? I'm gonna have a drink. I'm gonna have some wine or vina. We talked about vina. Okay, let's talk about vina. So the other day, I found this really interesting thing. It's Finnish. Okay, it's called vina. So vina or brandvin. It's it's a Finnish thing. It was, and the story behind that is really cool as well because it's sort of like a drink for the army, right? Especially when they were fighting these wars against Russia. And so it was important for the army and for the soldiers to have a kind of brandy, and they had to produce this eventually in Finland for the soldiers. It keeps you warm, especially in this kind of weather, right?
I'm guessing it's high alcohol content.
38%, I think, this one. Something like that. It's not too bad. It's just right.
Still light out.
Yeah, it's the other advantage of like being in the north is like sunlight and like sunrise and sunset is really long. Like, so you get this amazing golden hours that last forever. It's like the longest golden hour.
All right, please take a moment to follow and subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss an episode. They're coming out every week. And thanks for listening to the Outdoor Journal podcast, Whiskey Hour.